Formula Drift Orlando gets a ton of hate, and there might actually be some good reason behind it. So today I want to take you through my weekend at FD Orlando and my thoughts on this very controversial track.
Cool. Later, but I think you guys got us in there.
So for me, my view on this track has changed quite a lot since I moved to Florida. It is now kind of a home track. It's not far from me. It's about 25 minutes away. So the way I think about it, the way that this track has changed in my perspective is it's a lot. It's completely different. I originally kind of bashed it, and I have a very different take than I've ever had before, simply because of how close it is to me and the importance that I've discovered of this track. And since this track is so close to me, I decided that it'd be a great idea for me to cook one of the meals for the 80 staff that helps make FD happen for you guys every single event. So before we get into all the controversy, before we get into all that, I had to cook a meal for 80 staff members, and well, you're gonna see how that turned out.
This is going to be very different for most of you. Okay, so it is Thursday morning, and I got the barbecue going. Because this round is in Orlando, I need a hotel. The track's only 25 minutes from my house, but that also means that everybody's kind of where I'm at, and I wanted to do a barbecue for the staff. So that's what we're doing for Friday morning. For tomorrow morning, well, tomorrow at lunch, is barbecue, but that means that Thursday, 7 a.m., I have to kick things off. So that's what I'm doing here. I have no idea if you guys are interested in this. If you're not, you can skip ahead to whatever, I don't know, to the part you're excited for. But let me show you my smoke. So this is kind of my fourth child. This is my Angus. That's what this smoker is called. But it's an old country barbecue Angus. So it is an offset. So you have obviously your box cooker or your box there with the grill, which is great because I can actually grill things with it. Then what's like a traditional offset, and it has the cabinet smoker. So I'm kind of torn about this part. At first I was like, oh, I really, really want this because it provides so much more cooking space, which it does. The downside with it is it adds more points of like leaking and doesn't provide like a really good draft, so it doesn't like pull air up. There's a few other things. This basically will take the heat and shoot it down to push it across. The downside with it, I find, is that I get inconsistent temperatures through this section. This section is really, really good. So I'm kind of sacrificing that. So it actually probably at some point I'll end up cutting that and tilting it upwards so the heat comes up and then circulates. You kind of want turbulent air. You want it to move, but you want it to be turbulent so it heats everything up. But anyways, it's very barbecue nerd stuff. I cook with almost exclusively oak, although I do have some maple. And then I almost always kick things off with charcoal. So just makes it easier, gets my temps up in the whole smoker, and then I can go from there. So I've been smoking on this for about a year, and I've got it pretty much dialed at this point as to how fast I need to feed it, my temps, everything else. The only other change is I swapped over to a TrueTel thermometer, and I use meter thermometers for the actual meat, but I got to get this bad boy going. I mean, I'm getting charcoal going now, but I've got 2 briskets to cook, 2 pork bellies to cook, and like 70 sausages. So it's going to be a busy one. Okay, smoker is up to temp. Here's my 2 briskets. Honestly, I was not happy with these when I bought them. They trimmed up okay, but there was just a lot of weird fat in it. Big tip, go to Costco in the morning if you want to get briskets, because getting them near the end of the day, especially after a long weekend, which is what I did, which was very dumb, not great meat. It's kind of whatever's left over. So anyways, we are now going to start off this cook. I use the meter thermometers. This is the Meter Pro Duo, so it's got 2, and we'll be able to see what the difference is between just these 2 sections once we kick this bad boy off. So I'm going to do my best not to open these for at least the next 4 hours. Okay. Whoa, no. Damn it. Great way to start. Don't mind those. All right. We are approximately 7 hours in. Oh, lovely. Guess I need to replace that. Stop it. We're approximately 7 hours in on the brisket cook. So Oh, and we have pork belly. I didn't mention that. So there's one. There's the pork belly I'm going to be pulling off here in a second. There's the other, and some chicharrones. So I'm going to be adding these into the pork belly. Just add some texture a little bit later on, but that is what that bad boy is looking. So that'll end up crisping up. But time to put the pork belly into the tray to finish cooking off, and we'll wrap the brisket in a little bit. All right, it is Friday. My wife and I have been cooking. We basically started yesterday at around 8 a.m. It didn't finish until 10 p.m. And then right now it is all putting everything together and more or less reheating things. So that's what I got on the go right now. I got the smoker going. It is ripping hot. We're, 425 there. This is all just to get things warmed up. So brisket has been resting overnight. I actually build a little kind of heating chamber with a hot plate and essentially it's an outlet with a thermometer on it that will turn the hot plate on and off. I put that in the oven to keep the briskets at holding temps. So they sat at about 155, 160 all night, and they will stay there until I go to cut it. And then we're gonna cut it right before we leave. So yeah, what a day. What a day. And it's just beginning. All right, we made it to the track. Barbecue did go good. I'll get some video and stuff here in a second, but it's really hot. Like, it's crazy hot. So I'm thinking about turning the toque into a headband at this point because it's fucking real hot. But anyways, practice just kicked off. Dmitry Brudsky just lost an engine. Car's actually right behind me here. Really sucks, but it is what it is. That's why he's got the spare car. Yeah, I guess I can show you kind of what we made. There's not much left. Everyone kind of cranked through it. All right, so coleslaw, cornbread, potato salad, watermelon, corn and peppers, smoked sausages. There's a little bit left. And brisket is gone. And then my wife made huge apple crisp. And then this is all the stuff for the vegan. So yeah, went well.
All right, so all in all, very, very good meal. Everything actually turned out great. I'm super happy about that. So that part was a bonus. But let's get into the first controversial part of this track, and that's the weather. It's hot and it rains. Now, there are other tracks where both of these things happen. We've seen rain in Atlanta. We see heat in St. Louis and New Jersey. Both of those things happen. But what I think makes this track kind of unique when it comes to the weather is that you get both, and you get both very unpredictably. You get a ton of temperature, you get a ton of rain. They kind of move in and out, and makes for a very humid environment. But I also think that adds something to the track. It really puts the cars through attrition. It adds an element to the driving and to the endurance that a driver needs to have that kind of makes it a little bit different than anything else. Utah has this elevation, which changes how much horsepower a car's got. In Long Beach, it's kind of that if you keep it off the walls, you can have a really good weekend. Near the end of the year for Long Beach 2, it's more of a, can your car hold together for the final round? And for me, the added weather, the unpredictability of rain, the immense amount of heat kind of adds to the difficulty level of what is considered to be kind of a simple track. So yeah, it can kind of suck, but you got to remember a lot of the people that are coming out to this event, they're from the area. They're used to it. For the teams and for the crews, it can suck because they may not be used to the sheer immense amount of heat and humidity that Orlando has to offer.
It's a little wet. Chris, would you rather be hot or wet?
Cold. Well, if you're hot, you're going to be wet anyways, right?
I guess.
So you might as well just be wet. I'd rather be hot.
Okay.
So yeah, Friday, we dealt with weather. We dealt with it kind of on and off, and that along with some delays in the track due to an oil down from Dmitry Brudsky, which terrible. And it does happen. It happens to pretty much everybody. I talked about it in the Outer Zone podcast. Make sure to check that out. And while you're over there, make sure to follow the Outer Zone podcast. That interview was awesome. And if you're doing stuff like following, you can like, subscribe, and follow this channel. The vast majority of you watching don't actually subscribe, and it would mean a lot if you would. But let's get into the actual driving. The driving is insane. It is a very, very simple track. Talk about 2 outside zones, 2 inside clips. But what it means is we have very, very close tandems. We see drivers that don't do well other parts of the season really come into their own on this track. Jonathan Castro is a great example of that. He generally struggles. And this track for him, he really seems to come alive. And the simplicity means that we get immense tandems. It's crazy, some of the battles that we end up getting at this track simply because of the way that it's laid out. The track surface itself eats away at tires. It means crazy tire temps. We get fires, we get contact. We just get a lot of absurdity when it comes to this track. And to me, that makes for a really, really good show. I know a lot of people think, oh, we want all these, a ton of transitions, all this stuff. That makes for a good show as well, but in a different way. For me, this track is great to introduce people to the sport because of its simplicity, because of the show, because of the fire. And because of that simplicity, though, it means that I have a lot more that I need to do to provide a technical backing. So for this event in particular, I really pulled out a ton of data.
Okay, it is Saturday. I don't even know why this is a shock. Did not film nearly enough yesterday. Just honestly super tired. Did not get enough sleep. Trying to get everything prepped and having friends over and stuff. Just different. I thought having an event. Morning. Having an event at home would be a lot easier and ended up being actually more difficult at the end of the day. But all good. It is now Saturday. Got a lot of sleep. Slept until 10. And now let's just focus on the event. So see how that goes. All right, so getting set up. Got some cool new notes here that I can show you. Got the bracket, and then I got this bad boy. This is drift stats printed out. This is like all of the data for all the drivers on grid, and I'm nerding the fuck out right now. So pretty pumped on that. Thank you, Ryan Sage, for getting that for me. And yeah, should be a good one. Gonna be pre-show. Brian's gonna be on, and drivers still fighting the rain. All right, let's take you through a couple of notes that are going on. So obviously got my drift stats book, which I'm loving. So what I've been doing is taking top 32 bracket, building out these notes. Sorry, I only have a green pen. But it gives you an idea of some of the stuff that I can pull from. So Tommy Lemaire, 24 Pro Spec champion. What else we got here? Brandon Sorensen, 4th in Long Beach, 2025. 3rd in Orlando, 2024. And then this is a cool one. Frederick Osbo, 396 battles, 301 wins, 76% win rate. So I have been developing like an app system to do a lot of this, but I'm still not ready. I'm still having bugs in it, so I don't want to rely on it. But for right now, the old pen and paper, green pen apparently, and paper is where it's at. So get those notes ready, get ready for practice, or get ready for battles. Practice is almost done. We got 30 minutes left, and then it's go time. Come on, let's see it. Have you been drinking? All right, just wrapped up the track log experience. Now I gotta run and grab dinner really quick, and then come back to announce. So yeah, just a busy one. All right, yeah, no hat. I'm not hiding it. It's hot. There's not much I can do about it. But heading back now. Had a nice dinner. Did the track walk experience, which I mean, I'm really loving it. I love that I get to nerd out with other nerds one-on-one or in a small group. Now just get back into the stands, get ready for work, burp up some of the gyro meat that I just had, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good time.
Formula Drift Scorch, Orlando Speed World unanimously from the judges, Robbie, Brian, and Reese. The winner is from Japan, Haro Manoa gets the win. Haro Manoa gets the win.
One of my favorite parts about this track is the fans and the environment. The drifting fans in Orlando are a little bit different. I mean, people from Florida in general are a little bit different. Let's be honest here. But the fans are so enthusiastic. We really saw that this time with the Dominican fans that were there. And you get that with the Adam LZ fans. You get it with some of the other local drivers, like a Rad Dan, who's kind of local Florida boy now. But they're really, really enthusiastic. And because you're more or less surrounded by them, you can really feel that energy. When everybody cheers and everybody screams, you could really, really feel it. And they captured a lot of that in the broadcast. And you could understand just how loud the environment was. So for me, that was super cool to see. And we really felt that energy in Orlando this year. I want to get close to wrapping up this video by leaving you with kind of my final thoughts. And I think this really summarizes how I feel about the track as I was wrapping things up on Saturday night.
All right, I'm gonna swear here. What a fucking night. Holy shit. Dude, Manoa is a weapon. Like, you cannot talk against this kid. He is so fucking good, and whoever he's driving against, he will battle their style. And I think that's the scariest part about him, is that like he goes against a Shanahan, and he hits him. He goes against a Castro, out tandems him. Like, that's the scary part with this kid. He's adaptable. He's not just good. He'll fucking transform for whoever he's against. I am so impressed. I'm so stoked. And I love that I get to do this sport. As I say that, there they come right there. So, what a great night. Jonathan Castro. Yeah, buddy. Dude, I'm so proud of him too. And then Odi Bakshi's. Oh, man. So pumped that this is what I get to do for a living. It is wild.
So yeah, that's how I generally feel about Orlando. It's controversial, it is simple, but I really do think it makes for one of the best shows. Once you set aside the heat being a crew member or a staff member or anything else, it is an amazing environment. It is a really cool track. Yeah, it's older. There's some infrastructure things, and I'm not going to get into all the reasoning why that hasn't been updated. There is some solid reasons why, but it's not my place. But what is my place is to provide the best show possible. And I really think the team did that this year. It was awesome. And when the drivers are on such a heater throughout an entire event, it makes my job much easier. I had a great time working with Jared, as I always do. And I really feel like this event, we connected, we did such a great job. And the data that we were able to put into things, the information, the emotion, the passion, and everything else made for a great show. Add that to what is a controversial track, but in my opinion, it still is a great track and provides some really, really cool things. So for me, I'm happy for Orlando to stay. I really hope Orlando does stay. And I really appreciate you guys supporting, liking, subscribing, all that stuff on the podcast. Let me know if you like this style of video a bit more. I might do this a bit more through the rest of the events, because honestly, I don't get a lot of time to film, and my time is getting more and more limited every single event. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let me know what you think of this video, and let me know what you want me to cover when it comes to New Jersey.